Lex does all sorts of good for the world, but he does it for his legacy.
My envy is a calling. It is the sole hope for humanity.
The safety or well-being of other people just gets kicked to the curb the moment he feels threatened and insecure.
He's scared of not being number one.
20! 20! 20!
This is a temperamental brat who will turn on anyone and do anything, petty or otherwise, to get what he wants or to make people feel small.
Did you see the announcements of us going on tour and think, boy, I wished I lived in California? Well, what if you live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, Portland, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, or Chicago? That wasn't just a random list of cities. We're gonna be going there July 30th through August 1st in the Pacific Northwest, including Vancouver, British Columbia. We're going to Canada, baby, and we're never coming back. And August 6th through 8th in the Upper Midwest. We're doing a live episode. Movie Couples Therapy, Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann, Pirates of the Caribbean. Is there a love triangle with Jack? I don't know. There'll be a Q&A, there will be merch, there will be VIP tickets where you get to meet and greet us, me, and Jonathan, who's not here, but imagine Jonathan right here. Tickets on sale later this week. Watch for the link. It'll be in a community post or maybe in the description of this video. Come see us because we want to see you. You specifically, Jeff.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker and I'm faster than a speeding bullet.
And I'm Alan Seawright, and I'm more powerful than a locomotive?
You are. I've seen you at the gym. You got those gains, especially with the lunges. It's all on the glutes.
Are you sure?
So today we're talking about Lex Luthor in Superman. We're going to be looking at what is a narcissist's moral code, because it's not based on empathy. It's not based on concern for the well-being of everybody else. But he does have a code. So
More
what's it
like
based?
a narcissist's immoral code, am I right?
Yes. So what is his moral code? How would I help? And why is this movie good? And why is Nicholas Hoult good?
Because they did a good job.
Yeah, well, you'll tell us more as we go.
I'll tell you more about why.
A cynic might say that having Superman out of the way might not be bad for business.
Well, what's particularly bad for business is dying. And I have a distinct feeling that's where we're all headed with the Kryptonian running wild.
So we're gonna lock up all metahumans now.
Look, other metahumans aren't going off half-cocked, interfering in foreign affairs. They don't have, and I have proof of this, a hidden headquarters in Antarctica that violates 12 international
He's like
treaties.
perfect.
And they aren't aliens. Shouldn't all that
Perfectly
be more
cast.
than enough
Yeah.
reason for Planet Watch to at least bring the Kryptonian in for questioning? Admittedly, I'm not comfortable.
What's
I mean, honestly, it's a kind of mediocrely written exposition scene, and Nicholas Hoult is so good. I'm just like,
Yeah.
just glued to it.
Every day, according to Chatter Online. Not to mention the
According to Chatter Online.
Which we see he's controlling.
we can contain him.
Yeah, they got this stuff. What's this kryptonite stuff called?
It's called kryptonite.
There's none left on the planet.
I have a workaround for that as well.
No, what it doesn't matter, Lex.
He really eats with this role, I swear.
It's just not worth the risk.
So what's the motive here? Superman's a threat. We'll see more why that is later on to Lex's superiority. But it's all about, I need to be the smartest person in the room. I need to be the most admired person in the room. I need to be the most powerful person in the room. And so if I can't win on sheer strength, then I will attack and chip at the moral character of my opponent and sow seeds of doubt and distrust about what his intentions are. And he never stops playing that game. The wheels are always turning over and over and over again because he knows people could push back, there could be resistance, and in order for him to like be king of the raft,
Yeah.
the pressure has to be constant.
And it's beautifully illustrated that, like, so, you know, this is your very classic war room set, right?
Yeah.
It's a circular table. There's a big pool of light right in the middle. And I love that halfway through, as soon as he starts monologuing and, you know, giving his evil spiel, he stands up and starts walking around and he stands just out of the light. There's glints that are coming off of him, especially because he's in the wardrobe department did this amazing job putting him in a pinstripe suit where the pinstripes almost glow from the reflection. But it's just to highlight, look, he's evil, he's dark, he's out there on the fringes. It's all done with blocking and staging and great acting of pretty okay dialogue.
Yeah.
It's fine. And one thing I will say about the script that's actually really strong right here. Lex Luthor is a very strongly written character. Every time someone pushes back against him or makes an argument that kind of makes sense, he uses logic to twist it and aim it back at them and make it seem like he's making a logical argument when we clearly understand that he is not.
Right. But how can I make my opponent seem illogical? How can I always be, again, the smartest person in the room?
Right.
You know what can help him process what he's been through and help him move forward with more clarity?
It's therapy.
Yes, it is therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy has helped me to feel lighter and process my emotions when I have faced big life changes.
Me too. You can always start fresh and get help to handle whatever it is you're facing.
Today's sponsor, BetterHelp, can help you start therapy with confidence.
They'll help you find a therapist that matches your goals, preferences, and needs.
And if the match isn't quite right, you can switch therapists at any time, for any reason, at no extra cost.
72% of BetterHelp clients report a reduction of symptoms in the first 12 weeks.
Showing that professional support can truly make a difference.
Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/cinematherapy for 10% off of your first month.
So let BetterHelp support you in feeling lighter in 2026. This set is so cool.
This is what we came for. Hopefully there's something on here.
The set and effects, but still, like, look at that.
Superman requires immediate action. I can't stand the metahumans, but he's so much worse. Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. A thing with a cocky grin and a stupid outfit that's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. Nothing's felt right since he showed up.
I know, Lex. I've sacrificed my own humanity to help get rid of it.
Again, like,
Get in?
Clunk.
clunk. Lex already knows. You don't need to tell him that. But the audience needs to know it, so you're telling Lex
What if
that.
the Kryptonian shows up?
Don't worry. I'm creating a distraction.
Again, I love almost everything about this film, but the first third is so clunky in its exposition.
The exposition in the first third is clunky. Everything else, I don't have any issues with the writing. I think all of the characters are very strong. Even in the first third, the character motivations all make sense. The things that they're saying and the way that they're saying them make sense, aside from, I sacrificed my own humanity. We know. He knows. Like, we already know.
He knows Superman's moves before he makes them. He does. He's studied him for years. He's created over 10,000 counter moves automatically programmed. Like, she knows! She's on the team! I actually hate that exchange. I actively hate it.
That one is very bad.
I do like, though, he's not a thing, he's an it. And it also makes sense for Lex to be monologuing to himself because he's so narcissistic that he loves to hear his own thoughts expressed out loud.
100%.
So-
Again, for the character, makes perfect sense.
They never refer to him as him or as a man. He's an alien. He's an it. And we see just how driven by jealousy he is. He's become the focal point of the world's conversation. The other
implicit there is, it should be me.
It should be me. The other metahumans I can tolerate because sure, people talk about them, but not more than me. Not more than all the things I've done for the world and all of my accomplishments. This guy has stolen my spotlight and I need to take it back. And he's so dangerous with that narcissism because a narcissist's moral code isn't based on the good of society or the good of other people. Lex does all sorts of good for the world, but he does it for accolades. It's implied he's used his wealth to do a lot of great things, but all of it is just to serve and prop up his own ego.
Yeah.
Which means morality or the safety or well-being of other people just gets kicked to the curb the moment he feels threatened and insecure.
Right.
I'm happy to tell you that we have quite a few Superman episodes here on the channel.
We've talked about so many Supermen. There's several of them.
Watch them. Here.
They're mostly just right here.
But what about all the kind acts Superman has performed over the years, saving countless lives?
No, he's grooming us, lulling us into complacency so he can dominate without resistance, forging a path for his superpowered descendants to rule.
See, he has actually never met Superman. He can't possibly know what Superman is thinking, but he says it so authoritatively, like he knows what he's talking about. You believe him.
Well, in the previous scene, he said he didn't know what Superman was thinking.
I'm scared. I will admit that. I am scared. Because who knows
Performative vulnerability.
his secret harem is already.
See, this is the key to acting and lying, is to find something true in it.
Yep.
He is scared.
Yeah.
So when he's saying that, he really believes that and people can feel it. But he's not scared of a secret harem. That's a story he concocted.
Right.
He's scared of being replaced. He's scared of being forgotten. He's scared of people loving someone more than they love him.
He's scared of not being number one.
Yeah, that's all it is. He says things authoritatively, and I'm always on the lookout for public figures who speak ill of people they've never met, haven't talked with, haven't listened to, and they say, well, this is what they're thinking or this is what they're feeling. And on a smaller scale in our relationships, there's a component of if I feel threatened, that must mean the other person is threatening instead of this is coming from within me. In couples therapy, a lot of the times people will say, well, he thinks this or she wants that. And I say, well, have you actually asked her?
Do they though?
Yeah, you're interpreting their actions as this is what the motivation is, but you don't actually know unless you stop and ask and listen. And Lex hasn't even met Superman until here.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be.
I love the implication.
I tried to stop him.
That's the TV host. The implication is that like he owns the network or something, right? It's great.
And even the what about the kind act Superman has done was like a setup question.
Setup, yeah.
Nicholas Holt's so good.
I have no.
So good.
What you're talking about.
He's just a dog.
I don't know what dog you're talking about. Ugly dog in a cape. I didn't say anything.
You heard what he said.
A thing that I didn't know that I needed in my life was Lex Luthor, very obviously written by James Gunn. That is such a James Gunn joke, and it is so good, and it fits perfectly. Like, this does not feel like, oh, this isn't the Lex Luthor from the comics, or this isn't the, you know, there's different interpretations, but this feels like, okay, this could be Lex Luthor from the comics. He's just a little bit more of a prick.
Yes, and he's trolling, and he's provoking a reaction from Superman very deliberately. Something about narcissists is they're very intent on others seeing them as good and others seeing them as powerful. So he's got Evie, she's in the room, the moment Superman bursts in, she starts filming because that's like what she's trained to do, and Lex goes right into character of Superman throws the desk, he stays calm.
Like unnaturally calm.
Unnaturally calm. I don't know if he would have done the same thing if the camera wasn't on or not, and anyone watching sees him as, okay, Superman can throw a desk, but Lex Luthor's so powerful and so smart
and so reasonable
and calm and courageous that he's nonplussed by the whole thing. I have seen any number of narcissists, especially in partner relationships, who provoke people into acting erratic and insane so that they look good in comparison.
Sure.
This is all strategic. Yeah. And I will say this for Lex Luthor, and this is true of the character, he's an asshat, but he's a genius. And he knows exactly what he's doing. You know what's a super idea? Subscribing, clicking the bell, and turning notifications to on so you never miss a Cinema Therapy episode.
That's right. And then go to your subscription feed. Don't let AI choose for you. You're not the puppet of some maniacal billionaire. Be your own puppet.
Don't let
Stick your own hand up your own ass.
I replicated the Big Bang with the Luthor Corp Mega Collider, tearing a tiny hole between the two universal fabrics. I'm able to access it from multiple dimensional portals I've set up around the globe. Rex.
Man, he also does such a great job delivering, like, silly exposition.
The only reason it works for the character is because Lex Luthor would brag.
He'd brag, yeah.
About everything he does and
Here's
wants
all
people
the smart words that I smarted.
Like.
And he wants people to know.
See, look the smartest man in this already.
And look how much I thought this through. It's arrogant to create a pocket universe.
Yeah, don't do that.
Very words I live by, actually.
What can we learn from this for realsies?
Well, speaking of a narcissist moral code, which I am going to answer the question of what his is.
Oh, okay.
But first we're talking about what it isn't. Lex Luthor is a prime example of what Ian Malcolm talks about in Jurassic Park. You're so preoccupied with whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think if you should. He keeps doing things to see how big he can go, to see how far he can go and what he can accomplish. And I don't know if he doesn't count the cost or he counts it but he doesn't care as long as the people affected are not him.
Right.
And that doesn't remind me of anybody right now that we're always thinking about and talking about.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, how do you contain a super dog?
So this is where we really grow to hate this man.
Its brain. We'll learn what we can. Then we'll put the varmint down. It will undoubtedly be painful.
And so I love like the hand to the glass thing.
Yeah.
It's mock empathy.
Yeah.
And it's also drawing Superman's attention back to him. Hey, I'm talking to you about how great I am. Could you pay attention, please?
Others, if more personal transgressions. Florette wrote a blog about me. There are a few things I hate more than petty ex-girlfriends.
You wouldn't be telling me any of this.
If we ever planned on letting you out, no. You'd be terminated already if it was up to me. But first, the government
Cruel
has
to
some
dogs.
questions they want answered.
And animals and women and children.
Rex!
And aliens.
Look who it is.
And aliens, and alien children. Such a James Gunn baby.
But you be sure to keep our guests in check. Oh, Joseph certainly wouldn't want it any other way. I'll be back tomorrow to get the answers we need.
Okay, cards on the table. A narcissist morality is based on whatever serves their ego and their ambition.
Okay.
And then they will write the rules around that.
Sure.
And when they know that their rules, or lack thereof, would be frowned upon or would lead to a fall from grace, they have to cover up.
They create a pocket universe. But in real life, what that looks like is they create a web of lies.
Yeah.
These are the traveling salesman dudes who had families in multiple states in the 50s.
Yeah. Oh, good call. That is creepy and true. And today, it's all about creating a narrative. So the monkeys online trashing you, like, because Superman's done so much good that people have seen that he has to create an alternate reality just in social media and with news outlets. Like, does this sound familiar? To get people to turn on what they believe to be right or what they know to be right inside. He has to get people so afraid that they'll compromise their own values and point the finger somewhere else. Superman is good. Yeah. Superman is decent. And Lex is highly, highly invested in people being terrified of him and believing that he's not.
I love this scene so much.
Pick that up!
Just on a performance level.
Eve! Get out of here, you idiot!
Too slow.
Go! Move!
How the hell could he have gotten free?
This is my favorite bit.
We need to find him.
That one action does so much. First of all, it's a joke, right?
First of all, yeah, it's hilarious.
It's great. It's really funny. But it absolutely solidifies this is a temperamental brat who will turn on anyone and do anything, petty or otherwise, to get what he wants or to make people feel small.
Yeah, I love the creative choice at the beginning when they're coordinating this fight with Superman above the city. And he's walking around and he's like standing behind people at their monitors and rubbing their shoulders like, what do you got? What's going on? And when his team succeeds, he like points at him like, yeah, like he's got the charisma of a leader and he knows how to play the part of inspiring people, motivating people, and making them feel like they're part of something great.
As long as
they do what he wants, how he wants, and they're successful.
Correct.
The moment there's a failure, like you're saying, absolute temper tantrum, and you nailed it. Like pushing the cup off is funny, but it's also maintaining dominance.
The fact that he threw a tantrum and smashed a jar and then told everybody to pick it up makes him a dick. The fact that he then pushes it off the table again makes him irredeemable. It is, and the fact that he doesn't even look and he just does it like a cat. Like, I saw this in theaters 2 or 3 times. Every time, big laugh at that. And it's not just establishing that he's an extra irredeemable jerk, it's that he doesn't even take accountability. Like, I caused this problem, you fix it.
Yeah.
I'll cause the problem again, just to make you fix it again.
He trashed the room. And to my point about how he treats people, he has zero problem with Evie taking selfies as long as he's winning. He thinks it's great.
If it makes him look good in front of Superman, awesome.
But when he's mad, he turns on her and he rounds on her like a petulant child throwing a tantrum. And that's the thing. It's similar to Gaston, where like irredeemable asshat jerk that you hate, but also the performance is so much fun.
So watchable.
I hate Lex Luthor. I also can't get enough of Lex Luthor in this film.
Yep.
Lex, he just told you the portal was destroyed.
The dimensional aperture is still there, which we can open remotely, so open
It is not safe.
We can close.
This guy's got
This
such a
guy's
look.
glasses.
when it's correct.
Theoretically.
Great. If we can't find him, we'll need to draw him out.
So, we're gonna open this thing up. We're gonna endanger countless lives, probably kill quite a few people. And I don't care because I don't actually care about anybody but myself. Everybody else exists to help me achieve my goals or to carry me on their shoulders and tell me how great I
That
am.
could tear a dimensional rift into the surrounding area.
This is something you think I don't know.
See? Even his staff have at least a modicum of humanity.
Yeah.
Don't say.
I mean, if nothing else, they want to save themselves.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I love Mr.
Eddie
Terrific.
Gathegi is so good as Mr. Terrific. It's upsetting.
This is why you don't create a damn pocket universe.
There. Superman won't be able to ignore that. Now we know where he'll be next.
Oof. Anything is justified as long as I get what I need.
And some narcissists know they're not great people. Others have to maintain the illusion, not just for everybody else, but for themselves, that they're great people. And we're going to see in just a moment why Lex thinks that what he does is for the greater good and not just for him. But first...
Yes, but as is often the case with cloning, the match was imperfect. He might be even stupider than you, if that's possible. But easier to control.
3L.
And stronger. 22K!
So why insult Superman? Why insult his intelligence? Because he's threatened by him.
Yeah.
He needs everyone to think Superman is rotten and bad, including Superman.
Will always win. Brain beats brawn.
It's a hell of a performance.
It's so great. And I mean, he's going really, really big and melodramatic here. It still feels human and believable. Barely. Just barely.
Well, and he plays so much of it calm and contained that when he loses it a little bit, you really feel like, oh, he's on the edge.
What makes it believable when he loses it is the calm and contained always feels like he's barely keeping a lid on a boiling pot, right? He's like holding it down with all his might. And then when it boils over, it's like, this is my natural state. And it feels right. And that has been set up in him barely keeping a lid on it for the whole rest of the show, which is a remarkable bit of performance. It really is.
And I love this next bit here. We come to why Lex thinks what he's doing is right, not just for him, but for everybody else, and how he justifies his actions. And it ties into what he was just doing with insulting Superman. Lex is, like most narcissists, you get to the core, cripplingly insecure and terrified of others either seeing it or being forgotten.
You're driven by envy, Luthor. You couldn't be more obvious.
No, I'm not. I'm aware envy consumes my every waking moment. 13L. I know when they mention Galileo or Einstein or one of these other twits in the same breath as me, I feel a tide of vomit burn the back of my throat. But at least Galileo did something. He wasn't some dopey Venusian catapulted onto this planet just to have the world fawn over him because his strength illuminates how weak we all really are. So my envy is a calling. It is the sole hope for humanity because it is what has driven me to annihilating you. 1A! 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 1A!
And that's whether or not he really truly believes that killing Superman is for the good of humanity. He definitely believes that killing Superman is the right thing to do.
So I was saying earlier that Lex is invested in dressing down Superman and other people and knocking him down a couple pegs and people thinking he's not that great. And that includes Superman himself. Because narcissists are highly invested in especially people who they see as intelligent, they see as strong, they see as competent, in making sure those people feel stupid and weak and incapable.
Sure.
And Lex considers his envy to be a virtue.
Sure, yeah.
I love the line, Superman's strength shows humanity how weak it is. So he goes on this dangerous, potentially cataclysmic crusade because he feels weak and insecure, and he doesn't want to feel that way. Lex, it's cheaper to let me help you.
You wouldn't have to fund an entire war.
Right. Lex, booby, I am your white knight.
Booby,
I'm your white knight.
So how would I help Lex? It all comes down to Lex is highly intelligent and he's highly logical. So exploring the logical holes in not just his plans, but his thinking, that he can share the limelight, that he's not diminished. He only thinks he's diminished by Superman's existence. Yeah, Superman's got superpowers. He does these incredible things, but no mere mortal on planet Earth has done more with their brain than Lex Luthor has. And Lex Luthor's done so much more good overall for the world than most of the metahumans, maybe even including Superman when you combine it all over time. Lex could use his resources, he could use his intelligence to be a towering world figure, and he already is, but it's not real.
Right.
I would try to divert him away from destroying Superman, recognizing that might be fruitless, and also the risk and reward is very high. Lex, you're creating this house of cards of who Superman is and all of these lies, and it's going to come crumbling down. The risk is too great. Now, would Lex see that? The hubris is pretty big, and he's not super invested in changing, so I don't know that I could help him until his fall at the end of the movie. Lex in prison, I might be able to do something with, but first he has to be humbled.
Right. The fact that he got outsmarted by a dog.
In an absolute bombshell from the Daily Planet, billionaire Lex Luthor aligning himself with a foreign entity, believe it or not. Luthor has been giving them billions and billions of dollars worth of free weapons.
Lex Luthor has been working covertly with Basil Gurkos and the Moravian government to overthrow the country of Jarhanpur. Luthor has been giving them
Luthor on this show.
Oh, his own guy.
Little did we know he was a traitor.
Yes, you did.
That he is.
But people always try and cover their own butts.
The liberals can finally agree on is that Lex Luthor sucks.
That's great casting.
An enormous apology. He is, of course, the hero we always thought he was.
That single tear is a great acting choice because he's vile, but he's also a person who just lost the goal that he was going for.
He lost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Lex Luthor, he'll get it back. Hey, you see how he's on the moral high ground? So they put him on the physical high ground?
It's over, Luthor! I have the high ground! Man, that glare. Oh, the sheer hatred.
Again, man, he is swimming in a river of ham. And it's delicious.
Arby's, we have the meat.
Swimming in a river of ham, folks.
I stole that from the Blank Check podcast. Hey, Blankies, I see you.
We have the meat.
That's a great final scene. I love that he's monologuing and gets attacked by a dog. Breaks his arm. Like, it's just awesome.
If you have someone like this, not a megalomaniacal billionaire, I can't believe I pronounced that word right.
I can't either. Superman.
Oh my gosh. Megalomaniacal.
Have you ever had a dream that you had.
But people in your life who believe that they are entitled to superior treatment, that they are better than others, and that the wants and needs and liberties and rights of others don't matter, are people to be wary of. Mm-hmm. Selectively, they are people to be fought, especially on like a grand societal level. But on a personal level, it's best to draw boundaries and keep your distance.
Yeah.
Because people like Lex Luthor, I'm not saying they never change. Him in jail right now is a small window of maybe he can be reached. But it's not your job to do what a professional can do when it comes to a personality disorder.
Correct.
It's your job to keep yourself safe and protected. So just back away slowly from the Lex Luthors in your life. But I think David Cornswet is up there. He's second to Christopher Reeves for me. But I think he's in a better movie, and his Lex Luthor is
streets ahead.
I don't know how he became the best Lex Luthor in one film, but here we are.
Sometimes you just have it. So until next time.
I'm sorry, tall, dark, and Martian isn't my type.
1A! 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 1A!
That's actually really good. And watch movies.
1A.
We and Crypto here would like to thank our patrons who are over on Patreon, where they get extended commercial-free director's cuts. Cinema Therapy Studios, folks like
Dane Erickson,
Avram,
Will,
Monica Jurgensen,
and Olivia.
Thank you, and we love you. This is a good boy right here.
Oh, he's the best dog. It's not actually Crypto, his name's Gandalf.